and they formulated a cell theory. They gave a cell theory. So there were two biologists. The first one was Clyden, the second one was Swan. Now both of them gave 2 points, two very important points. In fact, they said that all plants and animals are made up of cells. It is not like there is no organism exception to it. All the plants and all the animals, including the human beings, they are made up of cells. And cell is the basic unit of life. Meaning, if the cell is not present, then no one can be living. So cell is the basic unit of life, and every single plant and every single animal, they are made up of cells. So these 2 points Clyden and Swan gave. And initially this was the cell theory. But after that came another person whose name was Rudolf Virchow in the year 1855. Now he talked about where is the cell coming from. It's all right that, okay, all the plants and animals are made up of cell. Cell is even the basic unit of life. But where do we get this cell from? Or how is this cell made? So Rudolf Virchow said that all the cells come from pre-existing cells, meaning the cells that have already been existing, that the cells that were already there, the new cells would come from those cells only. So all the cells come from pre-existing cell. So now these 3 points, that all plants and animals are made up of cells, cell is the basic unit of life, and all cells come from pre-existing cell. These 3 points together is now called as the cell theory. Clear?
Clear, ma'am.
Yes. So the questions can come like, what is cell theory? Who gave it or who proposed the cell theory? So now you know the answer. Who discovered the cell and in which year? You know that answer now. Up till now, do you have any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now see, there is,
Uh,
yes,
who invented this cell theory? Clyden and
Swan. This Clyden
okay,
and Swan. Okay. Even though Rudolf Virchow gave the third point, but his name is not added in that. Whenever somebody asks that who gave the cell theory, so you can say Clyden and Swan. Okay.
okay.
All right. Now see, there is another thing that you must know, that, see, if this is one cell, okay, then we call it as unicellular organism, right? When the organism has just one cell. Now, after that, another thing is there, when many cells come together, okay, many cells come together, so it forms a group of cells, right? Now, this you can call it as a group of cells,
Yes.
isn't it? So, a group of cell is known as a tissue. When many cells come together, they form the tissue. Same way, when many tissues come together, they form the organ. And when many organs come together, they form the organ system. Clear? This is how, now see, in us human beings, since we are very advanced, so we have organ systems in our body, right? We have digestive system, we have reproductive system, then there is a breathing system, right? Neural system. All of these systems are there in our body, which we use, right? We use our hands and we use so many, or like we use our lungs and everything, right? So in our body, there is the proper organ system. But if somebody asks you that are we made up of cells? So your answer would be 100%. We are made up of cells. But in our body, the cells formed a group and made tissues. The tissues formed a group, made organs. And lastly, the organs formed a group and made the organ system. So we have organ system in our body. But if you talk about bacteria, what do you think? Will it have the cell or will it have the organ system?
Cell.
Very good. Would have just the cell, because bacteria is so tiny. How can it have organs and organ system? It's not at all possible. So the group of cells is tissue. Now group of tissue is organ. Now always remember this. You know, this will help you even in class 11th. When you'll go in class 11th, this will help you at that time also. So you must remember this, that a group of cells form the tissue, a group of tissue forms the organ, and a group of organs form the organ system. This is very important to remember. Any doubts up till now?
No, ma'am.
All right, very good. Now we'll talk about the human body. Now see, inside the human body, since we have the organ system, we have the organs. So each of them have their own function. Like for example, our heart is there. Now the heart's function is to pump blood in our whole body. Can you use your heart to breathe?
No,
Or can you use your heart for digestion?
no,
No. Same way, can you use your eyes for tasting?
no.
No, right? So in our body, every single organ has their own function to perform. They will not perform any other's function. So this is what I mean when I taught you about the organization. This is the organization, like cell becoming tissue, tissue becoming organ, organ becoming organ system. So here, one thing to remember is that all of them have the property of doing their own work, which is known as division of labor, meaning they, like every organ is assigned its own work to do. Like kidney is responsible for filtering the blood. Kidney will not digest the food for us. Digestion system, like the stomach, is there for the digestion and storage of food. It will not see for us. So every single organ has its own function to perform. Clear? Now, coming on to the very important topic, that is the components of the cell. What is the cell made up of? Now see, we are going at the very basic level. So we'll see now. The cell is actually composed of three basic things. First is plasma membrane, then there is nucleus, and lastly there is cytoplasm or protoplasm. Okay, the meaning is same. You can say cytoplasm also, you can say protoplasm also. So three things make up the cell: plasma membrane, nucleus, cytoplasm or protoplasm. So these are the components of the cell. Any doubts up until now?
No, ma'am.
All right. Now see, as I told you that the organisms can be divided into two types on the number of cells, right? Now there is another division of organisms. The organisms can be divided into furthermore two types depending upon whether they are primitive or whether they are advanced. So the two divisions are, one is the prokaryotic organism and the next is eukaryotic organism. Now, this is in terms of whether they are very advanced or whether they are not advanced and they are primitive. Now, talking about the first type, that is prokaryotic organism. Pro means first, right? We say that, okay, we are a pro at this job. We say that we are very good at it, right? So pro means like this was the first form, and carrion means nucleus. So we are talking about the nucleus. Now see, prokaryotic organisms are those organisms that are very primitive, and these organisms do not contain a membrane bound nucleus. See, I'll tell you how. For example, this is the cell. Okay, this square thingy is the cell, and inside the cell, nucleus is present, and inside the nucleus, DNA is there. Okay, so if you look at this, would you think that this is the membrane of the nucleus? A surrounding membrane?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, for prokaryotic organism, this membrane is absent. They don't have a membrane-bound nucleus. Membrane is absent. So, they don't have membrane-bound nucleus and they are known as prokaryotic organisms or prokaryotes. They are very primitive. Now talking about eukaryotic organisms. Now the organisms that have a membrane-bound nucleus. Membrane-bound nucleus means the nucleus is surrounded by a membrane. So that organism is known as a eukaryotic organism. And a eukaryotic organism is an advanced organism. Clear?
Yes.
Any doubts up until now?
No, ma'am.
All right.
Not
Okay.
taking.
All right. Now you can note down and then we'll start with what are the components and We'll see about each of them. Okay, now you can note it down. Also, when you're done, then you can tell me, I can scroll the screen for you. Okay.
Next slide, ma'am.
You noted it down
Yes, next slide.
so quickly.
Important points.
No, no, no. You're supposed to note down everything, not important points here.
Oh,
Everything that
okay.
is there on your screen, you note it down, because you know when you read about it and learn, you'll have like a lot of help from the notes. Okay, so note down everything that is there on the screen.
Next slide, ma'am. Next slide.
Geobita, am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Dear, your class starts in 15 minutes, not right now.
When ma'am, like 6:30.
Yeah, it is actually 9 p.m. Indian time.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Sorry.
Done?
Almost, ma'am.
Shall I scroll?
Yes. Turn.
Hello, am I audible? Hello, am I audible?
Ma'am, I disconnected. My PC
Yeah,
was
yeah.
running.
Were you like done writing? Hello, were you done writing? Did you note down everything?
Ma'am, last slide I did finish.
Okay. So listen, after the class gets over, because it's just like 1 minute is left only. So after the class is over, you'll get a homework. Okay. So whatever
Okay.
I've taught in today's class, I'll give a homework related to that, and you're supposed to do the homework and submit it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, then that is it for today's class. Whatever is left, I'll give you time to write down in the next class. And if you do have any doubts while doing the homework, or if there is anything yet that you did not understand, you can ask me in the next class also. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, then I'll see you in the next class, dear.
Bye.
Am I audible, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. How are you all? Are you all good?
How are you?
I am also good. So, did you people have any difficulties in the topics that we discussed in the previous class?
No.
No difficulties? Very good. That's very good to hear. All the topics and every concept was clear to everyone? Were you people able to do the homework?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, quickly tell me, where did we left off in the previous class? I
Ma'am,
think,
diatoms.
hmm?
Diatoms.
Diatoms.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, so up till now, we had discussed how the diatoms are the chief producers of the ocean. Now we'll discuss about what is diatomaceous earth. Now see, what happens is that the cell wall of diatoms, since it is made up of silica, it is very hard to actually destroy it. Okay, it's very hard to destroy it. Okay, and yes, I always forget to ask this. Everyone switch on your videos. There's just only one student who switches on her video. Very good. Sabiha, that makes me really happy. Come on, everyone, switch on your videos. See, when I see you, I understand whether or not you're understanding the topic. That is why I ask you to, because I can see your facial expressions. Okay, Hashid is here. Come on, everyone else, quick, quick. So what I was saying was that since the cell wall of diatoms, they are made up of silica, so it's not very easy to destroy it. Okay, so even the process of decomposition cannot destroy it very easily. So what happens when the organism dies? The cell wall stays in the ocean. Since this is an aquatic organism, so the cell wall deposits are present in the ocean, and since it is indestructible, so it stays there for billions of years. So what is diatomaceous earth? It is the accumulation of large amount of cell wall deposits in the ocean for billions of years. Now this soil is gritty. Now it starts settling at the bottom of the ocean, sort of forms like a base of the ocean. Now when a person picks it up, it's very gritty. Gritty means very grainy, like how scrubs are, how very rough and gritty they are. Same way, this soil which is formed by the cell wall deposits, that is also very gritty, means not smooth. Now this, us humans can use anything for our benefit. So what we do is that we use that soil for polishing and filtration of oils and syrups. Okay, so this is like a very economically advantageous thing for us humans, that is diatomaceous earth. Now you must remember which organism actually causes it. So obviously diat. Any doubts? Okay. Now moving forward, we'll talk about dinoflagellates. Now dinoflagellates are yet another very unique type of like group of organisms. Now they are like mostly marine in habitat, and they are also photosynthetic, meaning they can make their own food. Now they have variety of pigments in their body. Just like how plants, they look green to us because of the presence of the chlorophyll pigment, right? Same way, dinoflagellates, they have other pigments that make them look of various colors such as yellow, green, blue, and even red. It like the color that they show, it depends on the main pigments that are present in their cells. Now, their cell wall contains stiff cellulose plates, meaning their cell wall is made up of cellulose, not silica now. It's made up of cellulose plates on the outer surface. Now, do you people have your books?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you look into your books, there is a diagram or a picture of dinoflagellate given, like right on the right hand side. And if you see there, because of the presence of these stiff cellulosic plates, okay, they sort of look like, have you seen those like soldiers that wear the armor for fighting? It is a steel armor, right? They have a sword in their hand and they wear a steel armor. So the dinoflagellates, because of these stiff cellulosic plates on their body, they look like they're wearing an armor, just like how the soldiers wear. So that is why the dinoflagellates are also known as armored protistants, because they sort of give the appearance as to they are wearing an armor. If you look at the picture, it's there. It looks very ugly, to be very honest. It's not nice at all. But if you see it, that is the reason why they are known as armored protistants. Now, they can move. Okay, they can move from one place to another, and that is because they have flagella present in their body. Any cell, any organism that can move has flagella in their body. So in their body, flagella is present, and they have two flagella in their body. One is a longitudinal and one is a transverse flagella. The most commonly appearing dinoflagellates are red dinoflagellates, meaning they have the predominant color red in them. Okay, and the best example for the red dinoflagellates are Goniolax and Gymnodium. Very important. Why is it important? Because we know that they are marine in habitat, right? They live in the sea. Now imagine the sea water is really clear, right? Water in general is so clear. Now if there are red substances present in the body, a water body, then the water will also look red, isn't it? Because the water is clear. So the red dinoflagellates, they have a property that they can increase in number very quickly. So they divide very rapidly and they make the sea appear red in color because their number increases and all of them are red in color. So this phenomena is known as red tide. Red tide phenomena is caused by the dinoflagellates, goniolax and gymnodium. Clear? Now, apart
Yes,
from that, these dinoflagellates, they have certain toxins in their body. Now, these toxins are used as a defense mechanism that whenever any organism is it's coming to take the dinoflagellate as a prey, then what does it do? It releases that toxin. That the name of the toxin is saxitoxin. And what it does is that it kills the predator. So they have a toxin that is help for their own defense mechanism. Clear? So this was about the dinoflagellates. Now, the question might come as to how dinoflagellates are economically important or what is that unique thing about them. So the presence of red tide, the phenomena that they cause by dividing rapidly, that is a very unique feature about dinoflagellates. Now, moving forward, the next type of protista is euglenoids. Now, one very important line about this is that it is the connecting link between plants and animals. This is a very commonly asked question. Many a times it is asked that what is that one connecting link that is present between the plants and animals? How are plants and animals connected? So it is through the euglenoids. Now, they do not live in marine water or ocean. They live in fresh water, mostly the water that is stagnant, the water that's not moving, such as the pond. The pond water does not move, right? The river is flowing current, like throughout. But the euglenoids are found in stagnant fresh water. Now, they do not have a cell wall present. We saw in diatoms, cell wall was present. We saw in dinoflagellates, cell wall was present. But in euglenoids, which is the third group under protista, they do not have a cell wall present. Instead of a cell wall, their whole entire body is covered by a proteinaceous layer. A layer of protein is there on the whole entire body, and that layer is known as pellicle. Okay? Now,
yes,
the reason Now, the reason why euglenoids are known as the connecting link between plants and animals is because it shows a diverse nutrition mode. It can show autotrophism also, it can show heterotrophism also. Everyone knows the difference between autotrophism and heterotrophism? Right. So it can make its own food as well as it can procure its food through other means as well. Now, euglenoids are also motile, meaning they can move from one place to another. And since they are motile, they will have flagella present in them. And the number of flagella is two. One is a short flagella and one is a long one. So it has two flagella, two different kinds of flagella, which is used for the motion. Now, talking about the nutrition. Now, whenever sunlight is present, whenever they can get the sunlight, they do autotrophic mode of nutrition. They make their own food. Now, the very unique thing, now see, if we are talking about protista, we are still talking about very lower organism, right? Is it advanced or is it towards the primitive side?
Give side.
Yes? Yeah, it's towards the primitive side only, isn't it? It's not advanced because it's coming after Monera. So imagine how long backward it is. But even though it is so like primitive, still it has the pigments that are present in plants. So it has chlorophyll because by using chlorophyll only any organism can do photosynthesis, isn't it? If us humans we had chlorophyll, we can also do photosynthesis. We don't have, that is why we don't do photosynthesis. So euglenoids, they have chlorophyll present in them, because of which whenever sunlight is reaching their body, they can do the photosynthesis. And in the absence of sunlight, whenever sunlight is not present, they do the heterotrophic mode of nutrition by predation. They become a predator. Clear? Now, the pigments present in euglenoids are very similar to the ones in higher plants. Okay, meaning chlorophyll only. The example is euglena. Okay, the example is euglena. Now, the most important things to remember here is that all of the things are very important, but even after that, remember that they are freshwater organisms. They are not marine. They are a connecting link between plants and animals, and they have no cell wall. Instead of that, they have a protein-rich layer, that is pellicle. Now, moving forward, coming to the last group of the kingdom Protista, that is the slime molds. Now, slime molds are saprophytic. Saprophytic meaning they cannot make their own food. They are decomposers. Okay, they cannot do autotrophic mode of nutrition at all. Now, what they do, being a saprophytic or a decomposer, is that their body moves along dead and decaying twigs and leaves and breaks it down for organic material. For example, if any leaf has fallen from the tree or any tiny organism has died and is lying there, so what these slime molds do is that they go there, surround that thing, and start degrading it. That is how decomposition happens under the ground also, right? So they start degrading it, breaking it down, and when that complex molecule breaks down, a lot of energy is also released. Digested food particles they also get. Okay, so this is how they get their nutrition. They can't make their own. Now, during favorable condition, meaning when their optimum temperature, then space, pH, meaning everything that favors their growth is present. So they form a large aggregation. Aggregation is a collection of things. So what they do is that several slime molds come together and form a structure that is known as plasmodium. Okay, now whenever the conditions are not favorable, meaning temperature is not there, the right temperature is not there, the right pH is not there, and all those things. So this plasmodium, which is an aggregation, this will divide and it will form fruiting bodies. Fruiting bodies are structures, they are like tiny structures that form the spores. Okay, so inside this fruiting bodies, these spores are made, and these spores, whenever they are liberated, they give rise to new slime. So this is their method of reproduction. So whenever they see that, okay, sufficient food is there, good temperature is there, good pH is there, we have all of the things that we require, then what they do, they come together and form the plasmodium, that is the aggregate. Then whenever the conditions are not good for them, because for reproduction, everything has to be perfect, right? Just for like humans, the humans only think about family planning when there is enough money to raise the baby, isn't it? Enough money to raise it, to send him or her to the school or anything. So same thing happens for lower organisms also. Instead of the fact that they don't have to send their kids to school, but they have to feed them, right? So what they do is that whenever the conditions become unfavorable, not in their favor, then this plasmodium will divide and it will form a fruiting body. And this fruiting body will give rise to spores. Okay, and these spores have cell wall present in them. And these spores are extremely resistant to survive hard conditions, meaning they cannot die easily. And when they are dispersed, they go to the different locations and they give rise to new slime. Clear? So this was about slime mold. Is this clear, students?
Ma'am, so like the plasmodium can form even though there are not favorable conditions?
It forms in the favorable condition only. Usually, it's like whenever they have everything, they think, okay, now let us plan for the future and we'll form a like aggregation. And as soon as the favorable conditions die, they are not there, then they start dividing. They start increasing their number.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, now coming on to protozoans. Now, these are disease-causing organisms. They also belong to the kingdom Protista only. They are parasites or predators. They are believed to be most primitive relatives of animals as they are heterotrophic and they are capable of locomotion. Earlier, like these two points are the only thing that is required to describe organisms of like on animals. Like heterotrophic mode of nutrition, they cannot make their own food and they can move. So the protozoans are just like that. Now, protozoans are further divided into 4 groups, depending upon how they look or how their body structure is like. So if they look like an amoeba, then they are amoeboid. If they have a flagella present, then they are flagellated. If their body is covered with cilia, then they are ciliated. And if they can form spores, then they are sporozoans. So depending upon how their body structure is like, there are 4 groups of protozoans. And all of these come under kingdom Protista only. Now, talking about the first one, that is amoeboid protozoan. Amoeboid means amoeba-like protozoan. Everyone has, like, do you people know what amoeba is? Right?
Yes,
Everyone
ma'am.
has studied this, right? This structure. Isn't it? That's amoeba. So talking about the amoeboid protozoan, so their habitat, they can live in fresh water, sea water, and even in the moist soil. So they are aquatic also, they are terrestrial also. They move and capture their prey with the help of pseudopodia, because amoeba is famous for having pseudopodia. Pseudo means false, podia means feet, false feet. The best example for amoeboid protozoan is amoeba. The marine forms, the ones that are present in the oceans and stuff, they have silica present on their shells. Now, one of the amoeboid protozoan which causes disease is Entamoeba histolytica. It causes dysentery. Dysentery is a disease wherein a person gets really sick after eating something, and it's mostly the vendor's food and stuff. And then that person has a really upset stomach for a while. So that is Entamoeba, that is caused by Entamoeba histolytica. So this was amoeboid protozoan. Any doubt, students?
No.
All right. Now talking about flagellated protozoans. Flagellated protozoans are the ones that have flagella for their mode of locomotion. Their habitat is free living. Free living means that they do not depend on any organism as a parasite. So no, say they can be free living or they can be parasitic in nature. Their mode of locomotion is with the help of flagella, and the example is trypanosoma, which causes sleeping sickness. It is caused by a flagellated protozoan. Now moving on to the ciliated protozoan. See, in the cell, have you people studied cell chapter in your school? Like many of you are starting from that chapter only in school, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So in cell chapter, have they taught to you about cilia and flagella?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. See, for whenever a cell needs to locomote, okay, for example, if this is a cell and it needs to locomote, so it will have flagella present. Like flagella is a filamentous structure that acts like a tail, sort of helps to wiggle it around. But if a cell has cilia present on it, cilia are tiny brush-like structures, like how the bristles of the brush are there. Same way, the cilia is present on the cell, like surrounding the whole entire cell surface. Now, cilia, do you think that the cilia will help in locomotion? Like moving from one place to another?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
No, but actually it does not. See, for movement, always flagella will be there. Cilia can do the motion as sweeping motion, like front and back. It cannot help the organism to move. Just like how whenever we brush our teeth, we do like this, right? So that is a sweeping motion. Same way we do it with a broom also. So that sweeping motion is performed by the cilia, nothing else. No locomotion can be done by cilia. Locomotion can be done by the flagella. Got it?
Ma'am, but the food particles are being pushed, right?
As I told you, it can push, it can move to and fro, but it cannot move. Like it cannot pick up the food, go and send it somewhere else. Cilia will not make the organism motile. It will mostly help in propulsion. The pushing and everything is known as propulsion. So cilia will help in that. Now, talking about the ciliated protozoans, their habitat is aquatic. They live in water. Now, it's written as the mode of locomotion is cilia, but remember that cilia does not offer any kind of motion. It can propel, it can move to and fro, but not exactly motion. Now, body cavity is present in them, which is known as gullet that opens outside the cell surface. Now, what the cilia does in the ciliated protozoan, see, since they have a body cavity, so this cilia will act like a brush and cause the food to come inside. That's all it does. And the example for ciliated protozoan is paramecium. Now, as you're seeing that all of the scientific names are underlined, right? So pay attention when you're writing your answers. This is like a very common mistake wherever, like the first rule of biology is to give examples wherever possible, give diagrams wherever possible. And then if you are giving the example and if it is in a scientific name, don't ever forget to underline it, ever. It's like the biggest rule. Okay, you cannot break this rule at all. Never forget to underline the scientific name. And do you people remember how to do it, right? The genus name should start with a what kind of letter?
Capital.
Capital.
Exactly. And the specific epithet should start with a lowercase letter or a capital letter?
Lowercase.
Lowercase. And when you're writing it with your hand, it should be underlined separately or together?
Separately.
Very good, separately. So always remember this. You know, many teachers cut marks on this. And by many teachers, I mean, okay? So pay attention to that, okay? Yes. Now, moving forward, lastly, we have sporozoans. Now, sporozoans, they do not have any special locomotory structures. Spore-like infectious stage is present in their life. They form spore. Just like how Plasmodium formed the Plasmodium aggregation, same way sporozoans also form that like aggregation. Okay, and when this releases, like all of the organisms like multiply. Now, don't confuse this with that Plasmodium. The name of the example, like the example of sporozoan is Plasmodium. And this causes malaria in us humans. Okay. What, ma'am, what about hyphae? Hyphae, dear, hyphae is not present in protozoa. It is present in fungi. When we'll talk about the kingdom fungi, then we'll talk about hyphae. Protistans do not have hyphae because they are very lower organs. Okay. So the different types of protozoans are clear to you people? Any doubts?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Now you people can note down, then only I'll move to the next kingdom. See, I've put pictures also for you. First you note down this thing, then move forward. Or if you have any doubts in the middle, you can ask me, okay? So it's a very lengthy topic, it's a very lengthy chapter. Now you people can switch off your videos comfortably and note down.
Can you scroll?
Everyone's done?
No, ma'am.
Okay,
No,
okay.
ma'am.
Okay, okay. I'll wait.
Ma'am, can you please scroll down?
Everyone's done?
Yes.
Ma'am, can you scroll up a bit?
Shall I scroll?
Ma'am, can you scroll a little bit up? Ma'am, can you scroll?
Everyone's done?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you scroll up a bit? Ma'am, can you scroll?
Everyone's done?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you please scroll down?
Everyone's done?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you scroll?
Yes, everyone's done?
No, ma'am.
Okay, okay, I'll wait. Done, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you scroll?
Yes, everyone's done?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you scroll down?
Okay, everyone's done?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'll wait because this is it only. Now we have to start a new topic.
Yes, ma'am.
Done? Everyone's done now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you check chat?
Wait. Which part are you talking about? Name that part. First, let me continue with the topic, and 5 minutes before the class, I'll let you take the screenshot, okay?
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, now moving on to the next kingdom, that is Kingdom Planty. But before that, there is Kingdom Fungi, right? Because we are talking in a series, right? Now, see, Kingdom Planty, we have a separate chapter for this particular kingdom, that is Plant Kingdom. Now, talking about the Kingdom Planty, in this one, eukaryotic chlorophyll containing organisms are there. Maximum members of the Kingdom Planty are photosynthetic, meaning they can perform, like they can make their own food. But even after that, there are few members such as the insectivorous plants, such as the parasitic plant, that are heterotrophic in their mode of nutrition. The examples are, like for the examples for the insectivorous plants are bladderwort and Venus flytrap. And then there is the example for the parasitic plant, that is cuscuta. So all of these plants cannot make their own food, so they are heterotrophic. But talking about the majority of the members of the kingdom Plantae, they are all photosynthetic. Now talking about the groups that are there in the kingdom Plantae are algae, starting with the algae, then there is bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and lastly angiosperms. Now angiosperms are the most advanced ones and the algae are the most primitive ones. This is just the introductory part for kingdom Plantae because we have a whole chapter dedicated to this. Okay, now moving forward, that is the kingdom fungi. Now this is very interesting. All heterotrophic organisms are present here. Every single member of the kingdom fungi, they are heterotrophic. Now let us see the examples first, something that is interesting. Now everyone has experienced this thing once in their life, right? Have you seen a bread that has gone bad? Bread with green or white markings on it? Yes. So that is fungus. Fungus on the bread. Then the mushrooms. How many of you eat mushrooms? Do you eat mushrooms? No, I do. And you know, mushrooms are also fungus only. How bizarre is that? Now, you might have seen this in what's like the emoji also, right? It is a very famous emoji, the red mushroom. You know, these are toadstools and these are the most poisonous ones ever. Meaning, if a person eats this, straight away that person will die. Now, there are many mushrooms that are a parasite, meaning if you find it, like if you look at the leaves, and you know that sometimes leaves have yellow spots on it, sometimes the leaves have holes in it, that is because of a parasitic fungus. If you look at this is the leaf of a mustard plant and it has white spots present on it, and it is because of a parasitic fungus. Now, the greatest thing to know about the kingdom fungi is that they are in abundance. Like they are very much, like their number is a lot, and they are present almost everywhere. Now, see, one more thing, a very important thing about this is that all the members of the kingdom fungi are multicellular. All of them, except for one. There is one unicellular fungi, and that is yeast. The scientific name for yeast is Saccharomyces. This is a unicellular fungi, only and only. Rest all the fungi are filamentous and multicellular. Now, see, everyone has heard about yeast, right? Like when you're like when we prepare this thing, the dough for idlis and dosas, or even the bread, the dough when it is prepared, people add nutritional yeast in it. Now that yeast causes the fluffing up of the thing. Like the bread fluffs up, like the bread has tiny holes. That is because of the yeast only. So this yeast is actually known as baker's yeast. And it is unicellular fungi. Rest, all of the members of fungi are filamentous and multicellular. Now, talking about the habitat, so fungi are cosmopolitans. Cosmopolitans meaning that they occur everywhere. You'll find them everywhere. You'll find them in water, you'll find them in air, soil, and even on the body of plants and animals. And the best you can say, how do you define what they prefer is to that they prefer warm and humid places. Wherever there is humidity, wherever there is a higher temperature, they grow and flourish there only. This is the reason why we put our food in the refrigerator, because in the refrigerator there is a very cold temperature, and because it's very cold, there is no humidity also, it's very dry and cold. So in the dry and cold temperature, the fungus can never grow. That is why the food that is left over, we put it in the fridge so that it does not go bad. If we leave it on the dining table or in the kitchen, you will find that the next day it has been covered with fungus, isn't it? So that is why does it get covered with fungus is because they prefer warm and humid places. Now, and this is why in the winters, the food does not go bad, even if you leave it outside, because it's very cold. But in the summertime or even in the rainy time, whenever there is humidity and whenever that is warm, then the fungus would grow. Up till now, do you people have any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
Also, up till now, whatever you've noted down for the kingdom protesta, did you people face any difficulty? Anything that you did not understand while noting down?
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. All right. Now, talking about the body of the fungi. So, the body of the fungi is long and it is slender. Slender means it is thin and it is made up of thread-like structure, which is known as hypha or hyphae. Okay. So, if I talk about a hypha, it is a long thread-like structure. Okay. And when multiple hypha are present together, okay, a tuft of hypha are present together, then we call it as mycelium. So hypha is one unit of mycelium. Okay, so the body of fungi is made up of hypha, and that hypha, when present in a group, then that is known as mycelium. Now hypha is of two types. Okay, now sometimes the hypha is continuous. For example, if this is the hypha, okay, we're looking at very internal structure and it is continuous like this, meaning it has multiple nuclei present in it. So what does it say? Some hypha are continuous tube with multinucleated cytoplasm, and we call that as phenocytic hypha, meaning one hypha would have many nuclei present in it, and we'll call that phenocytic hypha, meaning none of the nuclei are divided into cells. They are just present in one cell. Now, the most important line, the cell wall of fungi is made up of chitin. Chitinous cell wall is present. Just like how plant cell wall is cellulosic. Protestant cell wall is mostly siliceous. And here the cell wall of fungi is made up of chitin. There's a chitinous cell wall. Okay, we'll keep till here only because the time is running out. I have to give you time to note down also. So this is sort of like a mini introduction about the kingdom fungi. Do you people have any doubts in this?
No, ma'am.
Kingdom plantae and the introduction is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Now you people can note it down.
Ma'am, can you scroll?
Everyone's done?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you spell the third one?
Yes.
Ma'am, can you spell the third one?
Shall I scroll up?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, can you please scroll up?
Up
Yes, ma'am.
here or more up?
Ma'am, up like algebra, that thing.
Okay, okay.
Ma'am, can you please spell the third one?
Third one is Pterido. Terido. The P is silent.
Okay, ma'am.
Pterido. Terido. Fine.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Ma'am, can you scroll?
Yes, everyone's done?
Yes, ma'am.
Done, ma'am.
Everyone's done?
No, ma'am.
Do people have any difficulties anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Everyone's done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sabiha, tell me which part of Monera do you want?
The starting part, ma'am.
Wait. Which one? The intro part.
Yes, ma'am.
The orange one.
Yeah. No, ma'am. No.
This is only the start of Monera.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hmm. Done?
Ma'am, can you show that fourth kingdom part? So I think. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, students, is everything clear? Yes, Harshad, I'm ending the class now only. Now you can go and pray.